I'd like to call this council meeting to order. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Mishler, would you lead us in the pledge, please? Please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer or meditation. Thank you. Melody, would you do a roll call, please?
Councilman Holtz,
Present.
Councilman Curry,
Here.
Councilwoman King,
Here.
Councilman Mishler,
Present.
Councilman Fish,
Here.
Councilwoman Hines. Here. Councilman Crabtree,
Here.
Councilman Hinkie, President Dawson.
Present. I'll remind the council to make sure you speak into the microphone and speak clearly so it can be recorded. And if you're speaking in the public hearing, make sure that you sign in so we can get a record of your name. Can I get a minutes for approval for July 27, 2026 council meeting?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion by Mr. Fish, second by Mrs. Hines. Any council discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have no unfinished business, so no presentations or introductions, no reports of council committees. Would you please read proposed ordinance on second reading 26-0-30 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 26-0-30, an ordinance vacating the partial north-south alley off the West Wolf Avenue, a public way within the city of Elkhart, Indiana.
Can I get a motion and a second to adopt this on second reading?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Mishler, second by Mrs. Hines. Council discussion. Mr. Hinkie.
There were questions posed by the neighborhood in regards to protected wetlands. I did receive a letter from the city, somewhat of a clarification, but the question was the amount of wetlands required, needed, and if the property was going to take some or eliminate some, would there be more wetlands available?
David, where's on West Wolf?
Sorry?
There's no wetlands on West Wolf.
Well, there's a good start to the meeting then. You have some prepared questions on the next ordinance.
So you good?
Thank you.
All right, we're on West Wolf.
I'm on West Wolf.
Okay, you're on West Wolf. You got it.
West Wolf.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't care about the wetlands
Okay.
on West Wolf.
All right. Is there any other discussion, council discussion? Mr. Curry.
Yeah, I have the right one.
Okay.
But yeah, at this location, I went by there to take a look at this alley vacation, and there's a existing vacant building there, and the ordinance talk about a new building coming. I was just wondering what type of structure will be coming on this site if we do this.
Council, anyone that can answer, yes.
Crystal Welsh, Abbenmarsh, 303 River Race Drive in Goshen. There's an existing manufacturing building that's intended to be renovated, and there's an existing house that's just on the other side of this alley. This is part of this is the first part in a subdivision process, and we're going to create the one lot for the house, the one lot for the industrial building, and then a third lot that would be available for new housing development.
Okay.
So that building is intended to stay that commercial/industrial building.
And will there be a new house built?
The intention is it'll be a new lot available for a house. The current owner doesn't want to build a house, but he wants to offer it for sale. He's intending to, the current house that's on the property is occupied. So he's trying to separate that off so he can sell it to the current tenant, so they can be an owner occupied unit. Then he's trying to figure out what to do with the commercial building. And then on the back side of that, they'll be available for, a new house or a new lot for houses.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Fish?
So Crystal, will it change the option to, for zoning at all, or will it stay the same?
No, we'll have to rezone the residential pieces to residential and leave the manufacturing as manufacturing.
And just keep it, there'll be a separate line, basically.
Yes, so the subdivision process, we made sure that we provided 50 feet between the existing building and the industrial building and its proposed new rear yard, so that there's ample separation between that manufacturing commercial building and the existing house and any new houses that would go there as well.
And what about a utility easement? Will we have the same access for utilities?
Yep, any existing utility easements will not be vacated.
Okay,
Those will stay in place as part of the subdivision process. They'll get
thank you.
identified.
Thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Welch? Seeing none. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
I'll open up for the public. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak with regards to this ordinance? Please come forward and do so.
My name's Ralph Spellbring, live 236 Bank Street. Wolf runs east from Oakland Avenue, but there's a little bit west of Oakland. I assume this property is west of Oakland Avenue. Is that correct?
Correct. Any other comments? Seeing none, we turn it back to the council. Any further council discussion? Seeing none, Melody, would you do a roll call vote on second reading, please?
Councilman Holtz.
Aye.
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilman King.
Yes.
Councilman Mishler.
Aye.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hinkie. President Dawson.
Aye. I get a motion for
Third and final.
reading. I got a motion for Mrs. Hines, a second from Mr. Fish for third and final reading. Melody, would you read this ordinance by title and do a roll call vote, please?
Proposed ordinance 26-0-30, an ordinance vacating the partial north-south alley off the West Wolf Avenue, a public way within the city of Elkhart, Indiana. Councilman Holtz.
Aye.
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilman King.
Yes.
Councilman Mishler.
Aye.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hinkie. President Dawson.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
Thank you. There are no tabled ordinances and resolutions. New business ordinance on first reading. Would you read proposed ordinance 26-0-31 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 26-0-31, an ordinance approving major amendments to the Woodland Estates Planned Unit Development for the redevelopment of Phase 3 and the removal of Phase 4 from the Woodland Estates PUD.
Thank you. If there are no objections, this will be moved to second reading. Would you read proposed ordinance 26-0-32 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 26-0-32, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, establishing a temporary moratorium on the acceptance and processing of new applications for data centers, battery energy storage facilities, and directing impact studies to inform future land use standards.
Thank you. If there are no objections, I'll pass this ordinance on the second reading. Can I get a motion, give me a motion in a second to postpone this ordinance until August 27th, 2026 for a special meeting in the Common Council Chamber to discuss, consider, and take final action on this ordinance. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Mishler, second by Mr. Fish. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. All right.
Why would
passes.
we take it to executive or special call session?
For 10 days advertisement.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Resolution, proposed resolution 26-R-44. Would you read that by title, please?
Proposed Resolution 26-R-44, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, approving the application for lead hazard reduction grant funds and Healthy Home Supplement and recommending submission of the application by the mayor.
Right. Before we make a motion on that, Mr. Hinkie, I need to clarify that it had to be a 10-day notice for public hearing. That's why it's the 27th, 10 days from now. We advertise at our next council meeting on the 27th. We will take public hearing with regards to this, so we had to advertise for that. Okay, back to the motion. Any discussion? Can I get a motion and a second on the resolution R 26-R-44?
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Mishler, second by
Second.
Mrs. Hines. Council discussion. Step right up.
Good evening, Mary Casca, Assistant Director, Community Development, City of Elkhart. Just wanted to say a little bit about this resolution. This is really a next step in the city's lead hazard reduction program. In 2024, we received about $1 million for a lead capacity building program, and we've been working on that since 2024. And this really focuses on addressing the issue of lead poisoning in vulnerable children under the age of 6 in their home. And this is about being able to eliminate that lead in lead-based paint and soil around the home. So this grant application is really the next phase. It's called the Lead Hazard Reduction Grant, and the application will be for $4 million, of which about 71% of those funds will be used for direct lead mitigation of lead paint in the home. We're also able to apply for another $400,000 with this grant in what's called Healthy Home Supplement, which will give us some funds to address other health hazards in the home, such as radon, mold, and asbestos in homes that we mitigate lead-based paint in. This grant will allow us to hire one new additional staff person, which is funded by the grant. And there is a 10% match for this grant, which is coming from a variety of sources. We're using CDBG funds. We have some partner in-kind match, local City of Elkhart match. And then we were able to, with Megan Irwin's help, figure out how to use the indirect rate match that we can use for this grant. So that's what that resolution's about. And I have Holly Carlson here, who is the program manager for the capacity building grant, to maybe give you just a little bit of a background as to what's been happening with capacity building, which is really setting the scene for us to jump right into the mitigation of lead-based paint in the home with this grant, which is a 4-year grant. So these funds would be available to us over the next 4 years.
Good evening, Holly Carlson, Community Development Program Manager for the Lead Hazard Capacity Building Grant. As Mary said, this did allow us the time to build the program, so we are ready for this next level, the next phase, creating safe and healthy housing for all the families in our legacy neighborhoods. We've been successful in creating a coalition of community partners. They have driven the growth and awareness of the Elkhart Lead-Free program. We've developed a recognizable brand entity. We've expanded workforce capacity by providing contractor training in lead-safe work practices, along with obtaining state federal licensing to complete the work on the HUD projects. Many people truly believe lead poisoning in our children from lead-based paint, lead dust, and contaminated soil is no longer a problem. I do have an impact statement from Paul Fast, Director of CAPS Maple City. In the last year, their practice alone has screened 687 children in accordance with the State Department of Health guidelines. Of those, 7.4%, more than 50 patients, had elevated blood lead levels over the CDC recommended action level. Many of these families live in older housing in Elkhart's north and west side neighborhoods. I kindly request that you approve this resolution this evening so we can move forward and keep doing the work.
Thank you, Mr. Mishler.
Thank you. Resolution, is this solely for permission to apply for it, or is this to utilize the funding match as well?
This is asking to submit the application.
Okay, nothing more, just that. Okay. Can you talk a little bit about what other harmful household hazards would potentially be identified and how you would work with the community to do that?
Absolutely. One of the biggest hazards is probably going to be radon. We are required to address radon, which means at least test every home that we are assessing. And then we would put in that mitigation system if needed. We would also address fall hazards, such as stairs without risers, handrails, porches, front and back, safe play areas outside the home.
Thank you. And who are some of the partners in the community that you have worked with so far?
Some of our community coalition partners include both Heart City and CAPS Maple City Health, Tolson Center, Community Foundation, Building Strong Brains, Boots on the Ground community health workers, both Goshen and Beacon pediatric facilities, in addition to our new growing pool of contractors, Greater Elkhart Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Has there been any coordination with the county health department?
Yes, we work very closely with the county health department. They are a crucial partner in this and going to be providing probably the majority of our referring families because they are the ones that will take case management if a child test is over that action level.
And lastly, if I may, what metrics are you hoping to hit with this new application? How many households, how many events are you trying to prevent, treat, things like that? What are the
Our
preventables?
target is to complete at least 70 homes over 4 years.
And do you believe will have the staff with that additional person to complete that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, Mr. Fish?
So thank you for this. What's the timeline if this passes and the application goes in?
The application would be submitted by August 31st. They are saying the turnaround time for review and notice would be around the end of September, and the grant would kick in November or December of this year.
And then, so first contact with a young person for testing, who makes that contact and where does it happen?
It's supposed to be in family provider's office, the pediatrician's office, or the family can go to the health department and have that done for free. It is Indiana state statute that every child be tested, recommended at age 1 and 2. If they've not been tested by age 7, then the child is to be tested. If the pediatrician is not offering this testing, they should be. We're educating parents to say, I want to talk about this.
And so just to make sure we're clear here, it is still free. It's always been free to be tested. They don't need to wait on this program. So families
Correct.
could
This
go
is
get
not about testing the blood of the child. This is identifying the home.
Yeah, I just want the public to know that it's still available for free to get their child tested.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Hinkie?
Let me make sure I understand. 70 households, right, of this grant. How is it managed today and how has it been managed the last 30 years? Radon has been here, lead and paint has been here. What's been happening up to this time in the city of Elkhart?
Nothing.
So that should tell us something about the CDBG grant monies that were always available, things that we could have, should have done. Who's been tracking these very things? County and the hospital, I'm assuming, Minority Health, Elkhart Community Health. Where does the data go now?
The data that we obtain
Information.
is County Health Department, which reports to the State Department of Health.
So the best we can do is this grant to affect 70 of 15,000 households. There's got to be a bigger and better plan.
We do have bigger and better plans to address this. This is the next step in a bigger project. By leveraging these federal funds, we will be able to move forward and anticipate being able to ask for further funding, not just relying on federal monies, but also private funding.
Are there any cooperative agreements for broader testing? For community resource, it doesn't matter if it's Red Cross, County Health, whomever. As far as testing, I know that we've had EPA in the area a couple of times, most recently with regard to contamination off of East Beardsley. We've had the incident at the Elkhart Clinic. We've got plenty of incidences in Elkhart. I think we are the poster child for a lot of the contaminants that are mentioned around. But it would seem as though we would have a broader testing arena that we could have already invited the neighbors without relying on a one-time grant that would affect 70 households only. How can this be ramped up? How can we reach a greater audience? Because what I read is that the heavy metals, lead, radon affect children from 0 to 3 years old irreversibly.
Thank you, Councilman Hinkie. This is Megan Irwin, Chief of Staff. First, thank you for your support for this need that we have in the community to test and to address these issues. Holly's been with us a year and a half. So I don't know that she can speak to the last 20 years in Elkhart, but these kind of issues are primarily, I think, as you know, managed by the EPA and the county health department. The fact that the city is doing this is very proactive. It is not an ordinary responsibility of the city, but we recognize the need and we're partnering with the feds to make this program happen. I can testify to you as in my previous job, I went through a several month-long program with the National League of Cities on healthy homes and lead specifically. And everything that Holly is doing and our development department is doing is right on point with best practices across the nation. Unfortunately, there are not enough resources to reduce all of the lead hazards. But this $4 million investment is going to make a big difference to a lot of families.
The follow-up, if I may, I would have hoped that we would have, long time ago, for some of us who have been on this council, a long time ago for some people who have been employed by the city, any other city, quite honestly, because this is a factor in quite a number of cities, that we would have a count of how many homes are 1965 and earlier build that are most prone to these types of contaminations, that we would then know about what volume we're dealing with. So we would know what impact 70 households would be.
We do have some of that data. We can get you some more information, get council some more information about the broader information around lead hazards in Elkhart, if that's desired.
Well, so as we talk about data centers and other things that can contribute to our way of life, our quality of life, our environmental protections and all of those things, I don't want to overlook lead and all of those other possibilities and just keep moving on to the current stuff. If we still have, I bet you at least a third of our households in the city of Elkhart are 1965 and older homes. So I'm not sure how much of an alarm we should sound without knowing the data.
Thank you, Megan. Mr. Mishler.
I will note that the city is being proactive when it comes to lead service line replacement, and our public works team continues to work towards that goal. And if folks are curious about their lead service lines to their home, they can go to the city website, put in their address, and see if that's there. So I do encourage folks to do that as well.
That's external, but I believe we're looking at internal, all the things within the household.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll open up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak with regards to this resolution? Seeing none, returning back to the council floor. Any other council discussion? Seeing none, Melody, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Holtz.
Aye.
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Mishler.
Aye.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilman Hinkie.
Aye.
President Dawson.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
The 8 or 9?
Yeah.
9? 9-0?
Oh, sorry, 9-0.
Okay.
Can't count.
There are no vacations or public hearings. Other new business. Any other new business? Mr. Fish, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you. This Friday night from 8 is the EnviroFest. I hope you show up, tell your friends and neighbors. It's going to be a great evening. And I'll be doing some wood carving, so you can come down and see one of my many talents. And I'll even tell you all about the woodworking. Thank you.
I heard there's a zip line gonna be there.
There is. We're going to have quite a few activities, but it's a nice compact evening, 4 to 8 at the Island Park.
I'm just here for the zip line.
Okay. Any other new business? Mr. Hanky?
Some of us went to the Goodwill presentation at Woodland Crossing. Very informative, liked it, a lot of possibilities there. So I appreciated that time. I was approached before this meeting and told that some of the things I have requested, the Aurora Capital information will be forthcoming, as well as the East Bristol UPS meeting to help that group out with while the roads are closed, things that I still request and won't let go. I've asked for the code enforcement reports as far as citations, number of letters, number of properties coming into compliance, and the fact that it's not readily available tells a lot about that department. It just indicates a lack of efficiency, a lack of tracking, which makes me question the value at all, since we don't know exactly what we're completing, or they're just not going to provide it. Additionally, the number of consulting hours from Stephanie Cole, that should be easily available, readily available. That's a single digit area to look. There was a request the last meeting regarding, there was a proposal RFP for furniture and fixtures for the Woodland Crossing. And I forget what the actual value was. I think it was 48,000, somewhere in there. But since we don't own the building, I'm wondering what we're paying for, who is paying for that furniture and its intended use.
Hey, David.
Yeah.
We own the building.
Sorry,
We own that building
why are we buying furniture?
to put in the building
Yeah, we're buying furniture to put in a building.
that we own.
When we met with Goodwill, they said they owned half and Minority Health owned the other half.
Different building.
So what are we putting in and who is inhabiting the space that we're supplying furniture for?
I think Development Services will be inhabiting that space.
Yet another building.
Thank
Okay.
you. Any other new business?
Why does that take 2 meetings to find out?
Seeing other new business, the neighborhood reports, Mayor, Board of Works, Board of Safety, Department heads.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Just going to give you guys a 2026 update of where we are so far with the fire department. Good evening, Mayor.
And you are?
Rodney Dale, I'm sorry, Elkhart Fire Chief.
Thank
I
you.
remember to sign the paper, I just didn't remember to state who I am. Rodney Dale, City of Elkhart Fire Chief. Okay, good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, and everyone joining us here tonight. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes to provide an update on the Elkhart Fire Department and the progress we've made in 2026. When I stood before you at the budget hearings and talked about our goals for this year, we had a clear vision of where we wanted to go. Tonight, I am proud to report that we are making significant progress towards those goals. Let me begin with our firefighters, because our firefighters are the heart of the department. At the beginning of 2026, we finalized the hiring of 13 new firefighters. 5 of those positions increased the size of our department to 152, while the other 8 were necessary to replace firefighters who had retired or resigned. Those 13 recruits began their journey with us in late March, and after more than 20 weeks of training, physical demands, class instruction, hands-on firefighting, EMS training, and everything else required to become a firefighter, 12 successfully graduated at our ceremony on August 10th. That is a tremendous accomplishment. Within that group, our first Hispanic female, Niley Jimenez, completed the rookie school and has joined our department. These young men and women have already demonstrated that they have what it takes to serve this community. They have earned the badge, but more importantly, they have earned the opportunity to prove themselves every day to the citizens of Elkhart. I want to thank our training staff, our officers, and all of our firefighters who invested their time and experience into preparing these recruits for the job. In June, we also celebrated the people who have already dedicated themselves to this department. We held our first annual Elkhart Fire Department Awards Banquet, honoring firefighters and members of our department who have demonstrated outstanding achievement during the year of 2025. They were honored this year. This event was held at the beautiful Crystal Ballroom at the Lerner Theater, and it was an incredible evening. It was important to me and my assistants, led up by Division Chief Jason Gore, that we take the time to recognize the men and women who routinely go above and beyond without asking for recognition. Our department is fortunate to have firefighters who answer the call on someone's worst day, who run towards situations that most people run away from, and who continue to serve when nobody is watching. I want to publicly recognize and thank the local businesses that sponsored the banquet and helped us make the evening possible. Those local businesses are Premium Concrete and DLZ. Their support demonstrates something that we already know. The Elkhart Fire Department and the Elkhart community are stronger when we work together. Another accomplishment came in July. We finalized the purchase of a new ambulance using the proceeds from the sale of our 2017 Quint fire engine. This was an excellent example of being responsible with the resources entrusted to us by the taxpayers of Elkhart. We were able to take an existing department asset, turn it into funding, and put those resources directly back into the emergency services for our community. The new ambulance will ultimately help us continue meeting the growing demand for emergency medical services throughout our city, and that demand continues to grow. This year, we have also added 2 new paramedics to the Elkhart Fire Department. One of those paramedics made history as the first African-American female paramedic, Tia Garnett. She's the first in the history of this department, and that is something worth recognizing. While I'm proud of the historic significance, I'm even more proud that she earned that position through dedication, training, and hard work. And we are not stopping there. 5 additional Elkhart firefighters are currently enrolled in the upcoming paramedic class. That investment in advanced medical training is critical because the role of today's firefighter goes far beyond fighting fires. Our firefighters are emergency medical providers, rescuers, hazardous materials technicians, and problem solvers. And as the needs of our community change, we have to change with them. Looking ahead, September will give us an opportunity to pause and remember. This year marks 25 years since the tragedy, September 11th, 2001. On September 11th of this year, the Elkhart Fire Department will hold an event honoring the men and women who lost their lives that day. The ceremony will take place in the 400 block of South Main Street in front of the Lerner Theater. 25 years later, we still remember the firefighters, police officers, EMS personnel, and civilians who never came home. As firefighters, that day changed our profession forever. It reminded us of the courage and sacrifice that comes with wearing this uniform, and reminds us that every time one of our firefighters walks into a dangerous situation, there's a family and community standing behind that firefighter. Following the event, a free dinner will be provided at the Union Hall, generously sponsored by Patrick Industries. We appreciate their support and their willingness to help our community come together and remember. And finally, perhaps the most visible improvement for our department and our community this year is the opening of our new fire station number 6. Our beautiful new Station 6 is expected to be opened up in mid-September. This station represents more than a new building. It represents our commitment to the fast-growing northeast side of Elkhart. For years, an advanced life support ambulance serving that area had to travel from Central Fire Station or Station 4 on Oak Street. The new Station 6 will give us a much more reliable and timelier advanced life support presence in the Northeast Corridor. That means when someone calls 911 and their life may depend on minutes or even seconds, we are putting our resources closer to the people that need them. That is what this fire department is supposed to do. And the need for those resources is greater than it ever has been. We are currently on pace to answer more than 11,500 calls this year, which would be the highest call volume in the history of Elkhart Fire Department. Think about that for a moment. More than 11,500 times this year, someone in our community will pick up the phone and call 911 because they need help. And more than approximately 11,500 times, our firefighters will respond. They will respond in the middle of the night. They will respond on holidays. They will respond in the rain, snow, heat, and cold. They will respond when they are tired. And they will respond knowing that the person waiting on the other end of that call may be having the worst day of their lives. This is why everything we have accomplished this year matters. Hiring more firefighters, training and graduating our recruits, adding paramedics, investing in a new ambulance, building Station 6, recognizing the accomplishments of our members, preparing to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. These are not simply department accomplishments. They are investments in the safety, health, and future of the city of Elkhart. Mayor and the members of the City Council, I want to thank you for your continued support of the Elkhart Fire Department. The progress we are making would not be possible without the support of our elected officials, our administration, our community partners, and most importantly, the men and women of this department. We still have work to do. Our call volume continues to increase. Our community continues to grow. And the expectations placed on today's fire service continues to evolve. But I can tell you this, the Elkhart Fire Department is moving forward. We are growing, we are training, we are investing, we are honoring our past, and we are preparing for the future. Most importantly, we are continuing to do what we have been called to do. Protect the people of Elkhart, serve our community with pride, and make sure when someone calls 911, the Elkhart Fire Department is there when they are needed the most. Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council, for your time, your partnership, and your continued support of the men and women of the Elkhart City Fire Department. We are proud to serve this city, and we are just getting started. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that report. I wanted to make mention too that we have City Hall in the Park at Roosevelt this Thursday from
Yes.
6 to 8. Mayor.
Yeah, before you do, the one program that Chief Dale did not mention that I think is very important to mention is the Whole Blood or the New Blood program. That program has been instrumental in saving the lives of, at the time of the award ceremony, we were at, I think, Chief Dale, about 36. I'm sorry?
That was started in 25.
Okay, that's why you mentioned it. It was started in 25, but it has saved 36 lives. And given pre-treatment before they get to the hospital, traumatic blood situations and transfusions that have occurred with the fire department and the ambulance units, EMT units. So I think it's very important for us to recognize that program, because I think we were one of only 2 fire departments in the state that have instituted that program. And I think it's very important for us to recognize the life-saving measures that it has accomplished already. And the City Hall in the Park is Thursday at Roosevelt Park this year, and it's for this Thursday, and it's for districts
4 and 5.
4 and 5.
And then September the 17th is City Hall in the Park for districts 3 and districts 1.
Thank you, Mayor. Neighborhood Association reports. Are there any neighborhood association reports? Mr. Curry.
Yes, the PM Moran Neighborhood Association, we met last outside again. We meet 3 months outside during the year. We were concerned about the rain, but we got a blessing and it didn't rain. Had a nice crowd there and discussed the issues of our neighborhood. We're always talking about working together. Some people need a little help trimming up around their house, and we do that. And some people were concerned about the cats. We have a lot of cats in our neighborhood, and we got some cages now where we're going to be trapping cats and shipping them out to the Humane Society. And there's even a rooster somewhere in our neighborhood. We can't find him. But we think he's over on Benham, so we're looking for the rooster for we can turn that in and take care of that situation. But we just concerned, that we keep our neighborhood clean and neat and just working together and try to get to know our neighbors. And we have a couple houses in our neighborhood for sale, and we just hoping we get good neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Latanya, Ms. King.
I would like to thank everyone that came out and celebrated the new Edith Pasley Park, formerly Ulrey Park. We had the community, the city department heads and employees, everybody participated, and huge shout out to the building and grounds and the Parks Department for helping to get the word out, and Indiana Black Expo for supplying the food, hot dogs, hamburgers, and ice cream and music. We had Michael Jackson was even in attendance, so we weren't there. I'm still, this past week, I've been to Staples a few times of the former students of Ulrey wanting pictures. So it was a great class, family reunion, just community get together. So thank you all that came out and participated, and looking forward for everybody just touring every park within our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hines.
Yeah, I just want to thank a shout out to you department heads that came out to the HOA out at Ben Oak on Wednesday. I think it's nice that we're doing Let's Talk Tuesdays, or we've done Let's Talk Tuesdays in the past, doing City in the Hall. But when they come to those, I think the neighborhood meetings are a little more intimate. And so the attention that departments had to give when they come to those meetings, I think go a long way, and it's extending our staff. So just want to shout out to them for doing that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, privilege of the floor. Is anyone in the audience who would like to speak on anything that was not on the council agenda tonight? So please come forward, state your name.
Howard Turner, Beach Street in Elkhart. I have missed a couple of council meetings because I didn't realize that they were canceled until I got here and the door was locked. So maybe in the future on the 311 app, you send out a notification. I do get the notifications. And maybe as a reminder, maybe more citizens would come if they knew that there was a council meeting tonight. I don't know. Did go to the Elkhart Grand Prix, enjoyed it. Do have a suggestion possibly if there could be some kind of big screen cameras there at the start finish line. Not cameras, TVs, so that those sitting there, we could see what the announcer is broadcasting that happened, the crash down there on the bridge that we can't see. That might make it a little more interesting. While I was traveling today, trying to bypass the milling on Lexington, did notice Indiana Avenue. That looks pretty nice. Good job, city. And there was a city council meeting I missed because it was raining. I don't like to get rained on. Could we have an umbrella rack out in the atrium so that I could put my umbrella there and leave? That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience? Please come forward.
Wendy Cruz from South Shore neighborhood. I want to give a huge shout out to Dave Hankey for coming into our neighborhood and taking a look at some of the roughness and some of the goodness. I also want to give a shout out to Hugo because he followed through with everything he ever said he was going to do. He came, I drove him around the neighborhood. He took pictures of every single thing possible. The one thing I do question is we have zoning and we have code. So we have the left hand and the right hand. They don't communicate, and there's no head to communicate them. I called about 220 South Shore Drive, the camper, still sitting there. People still living there. People still coming and going from there doing unsavory things around our children. Our neighbors that live right across the street and right next door, we're blunt now. We don't care. We're going to stand out in the street and call them out. We're done. We're tired. And it has caused some unsavory things happening in our neighborhood now. My dog was poisoned. I am asking that we do have cameras. We do have people walking around watching. We do have the police coming in the evening now, but it's not taking care of the problem. That camper has to go. People are living in there with kids and drugs. It has to go. You can't have two dwellings on one plot of land, especially a double axle. So if we could possibly get that taken care of, I would appreciate it. Because when I called code didn't know anything about it. Zoning said it was closed out through the 311 app. And then when I called 311, she had no idea what I was talking about. So we would like that to be taken care of because that would help cut down on some of the unsavory acts. As far as my dog, I took it to the vet. We got him treated, and he's fine now. Another thing there's some houses being sold over there. Code and zoning are not coming to terms with parking. What is allowed to be parked on, what's not allowed to be parked on, whose property is whose property is not whose. And so now the neighbors are all up in arms because everybody's scattering, trying to figure out where to park now. And if you come over to South Shore and Hester, you will see there's a ton of houses on the river with zero parking. They don't have driveways. They got to park on the street. It's becoming a crazy little lane over there. So if maybe we can get somebody over there to figure it out and kind of help us out, because it's a very tight corner and my part of Hester Street is a one-way and nobody's figuring that out. Not even the police. So we would appreciate if we could get some of that going on as well. But my main concern is trying to get some of the drugs out of our neighborhood, some of the unsavory people out of our neighborhood, and as well as trying to figure out how we can clean it up. The abandoned house next to me is always being watched. It's always being broken into. And I know the code guy is trying to keep up with it, but at some point we have to say enough is enough, because now I have another abandoned house next to me and it's getting broken into as well. So we got to start holding these landlords accountable, because the owner of the abandoned house next to me owns a house on Franklin, and that house is very well groomed. I caught him and I asked him why. He said, because the house next to you is not seen. That's not fair to me. That's not fair to my animals. That's not fair to our community. And personally, if y'all looked at that house, y'all would be heartbroken. So I would appreciate if we could start holding these landlords accountable, or homeowners, whoever they are, as per all of the ordinances and everything. And some of the ordinances might need to change because it's not okay.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience who'd like to speak?
Shauna Dushan, West Crawford Street. Could we be done with Borden picking up on every week? This was in January when they sent this notice out to all of us. On there, they forgot to say your trash day. So now we leave that open for interpretation, because it says Elkhart City residents will now receive 2 large item removals per week free of charge. These items do not need to be scheduled. Simply leave them at the curb. Okay, so now I have like a whole street of riffraffy nastiness because, oh, well, they said put it out at the curb, so I put it out at the curb. This might be on Tuesday. My trash day's Monday. They know better, maybe, maybe not. It doesn't matter. I consider this a colossal failure. And it would be great if we could just tell Bordens, hey, man, we got to go back to having everybody be accountable. Oops, surprise, and phone in what they need to have picked up. I think this weekend is the Taste of the Gardens at Wellfield, which my neighborhood butts right up on. I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to use this as leverage to get somebody to do something. And you're kind of wrecking that. So shh. But anyway, so if that's this weekend, I'm using that. And then I'm also going to say, I'm in the historic district too. Oh, look, it's historically trash. I mean, I don't know what to say other than this has to end. You can drive down my street and you can look and go, oh, hell, oh, that must have been a mattress. Oh, look at that one. That was a toilet over here, because it leaves the imprint, because Borden is not coming down weekly and getting our stuff. We got two in particular, one that just got picked up today. Yay. And the other one still hanging out there loose. Got a picture of it, got the address number, not going to rat that out, not looking for anybody to take me out. So I do have that if anybody wants proof of the fact that, we just need to make it go back to where it was. It's great. We gave it a try. Hey, it didn't work out. So if we could go back to the old way, that would be cool.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience? Seeing none, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Carrie Nichols, and I live at 1314 South Shore. I've got two things. One, with an ordinance that you guys had passed. I was waiting for information to come through. And yes, we did do something with lead before, because one of the rental properties that I inherited did get a grant from the city, and the windows and the siding were changed on that. So yes, there was something that did happen with that. So that needs to be adjusted and be corrected, because it did happen about 15 years ago. Okay. And then the other thing is, I know Wendy was up and she talked, because we're both from the same neighborhood. Of course, she's up front and I'm in the back, so we're completely different places. But the house back at 116 Natal is still a problem. Still has all the trash behind it. Still is having, as the fire department said, they're on their way to having 11,000 and so many calls. That house is part of all that. They're constantly going down there, continually going there, along with all the other unsavory people that are there and sleeping on the front porch. So it'd be nice if that could be looked at and taken care of, because what goes from her camper either comes from there or they're going back to there. So they're going back and forth. So they're traveling the whole neighborhood, basically. So those are the two really unsavory places that need to be taken care of.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments from the audience?
Good evening, Council. Kevin Bullard, 21406, County Road 14, Bristol. So as I look out my back door and I see Alliance RV, More Ride, which actually has property further east than my house. So I was listening to the Planning Commission YouTube meeting, and I was concerned, and I duly respect Eric and Mike with planned development. And I was concerned when I overheard Mike mention annexation of the future developments. And this is what I'm talking about, future developments. And I am trying to get active in the town of Bristol. And recently there's been a lot of talk about the DPUD of the zoning of the town of Bristol. And JPR and did a real nice rezoning presentation that included an in-depth with restrictions for what Bristol is facing as far as their rezoning. And I would encourage all of you to, look at that Bristol Innovative Park, DPUD, talks about the restrictions, they talk about night sky and the lighting, and they talk about noise. And the future development would be a quick guidance of what Elkhart's future annexations and development could be. And, you talk about noise, you talk about lighting and this. So I think that'd be a great place to start. And I'm just concerned. I know you got a meeting coming up the 27th, which will probably get a lot of noise. And I've talked to Aaron a little bit about this. So yeah, I encourage you to look at this and keep your minds open as far as future development and annexation, because the property that is most readily available to be annexed is going to, be surrounding my house. Back in the Nice administration, this was a 400+ acre housing development that encompassed, where I live. So I'm really concerned about, future development, the restrictions, and it's an ever growing and modern development that's going on. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience?
Evening. Melissa Kaufman, 29651 Carolina Avenue, Elkhart, Indiana. I'm outside city limits, but our street encompasses several of your water hydrants that are operated by the city because of the contamination from the railroad years ago. My concern is that those hydrants haven't been serviced for quite some time. I contacted the utilities. I've talked to the gentleman several times over the last 18 months. I've asked for the records of when was it serviced. He tells me he'll get back to me. I never hear from him ever again. I contact him again. Yep, I'll get back to you. Oh, I forgot about it. I never hear from him again. This goes on every 3 to 4 months. Those hydrants have still not been serviced. The one, I'm on a dead end street, so I can see that hydrant. We have security cameras, so if they get serviced, we'd know. The gentleman who lives across the street from me, he's had cancer several times. He's lived in that home for well over 20 years. He said the last time that hydrant was serviced was more than 10 years ago. We'd kind of like to see somebody come out and address those hydrants, because I'm pretty sure, being on a dead end street, a lot of that sediment is going to flush that way and get stuck there. If our fire department needs those, how much of that is going to clog that up? And what is going to flush out of that and get into the fire trucks or clog the fire truck up and then stop that fire truck from addressing anything that would be a fire for those homes on our dead end street? So if you guys could do anything to maybe help us get those fire hydrants and the department to come out there and address those units, we'd sure appreciate it out there in that neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? Seeing none, we'll turn it back to the council. Any other council discussion? Mr. Hinkie.
I just appreciate the involvement of some of our constituents and neighbors. So thank you for joining our meeting and participating. Thank you.
All right, scheduling of committee meetings. There are no committee meetings. We'll have a council meeting August 27th for a public hearing and the second and third reading. Can I get a motion for acceptance of communications?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Fish, second by Mr. Mishler. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.